All right, welcome back to another WrightStew Podcast. I am Paul Stewart.
And I am Brian Wright. And hey, it's Sunday morning. We're doing it on Sunday morning. You got a great shirt on. I just hope, what's it say? I just hope both teams have fun.
Yeah. People love this shirt, man. When I wear it to like a tournament and I guess I do hope both teams have fun, but I prefer to win. But
I was
people
wondering
love
where
it.
you're
I get
going.
so many compliments. Like people, yeah, that's the right idea. Like, especially the older generation, like, this fella, he's in it for the kids.
Well, people don't know whether that's sarcastic or if it's sincere. And I like how you can play both sides of it.
Yeah, people generally just take it at face value. Like this guy, he's being sincere about that. Like he's like I'm out there on the side of the street leading some sort of protest on less competition, more fun.
But you do feel like most of the time, that's kind of your priority at like 7, 8 years old. Like, hey,
Oh yeah, with those kids,
Yeah.
definitely the 7 and 8-year-olds.
When do you feel like it starts to transition? Where do you feel like the ideal age it starts to, and is it different for boys and girls?
No, same for both genders. I think probably again depends on is it rec ball, is it travel ball? There's different levels of even with our kids. Like we play pretty competitive level. We're not like win at all costs. We could be. In a couple tournaments, we've told the boys like, "Hey, we're doing this."
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're gonna play how you're gonna play. Like nobody goes up there like, I'm gonna try 50% today. Everybody's trying to win, you would assume at every point. And then it's a matter as a coach. Like I've shared with my 7 or 8-year-olds, we've got a couple of coaches in the league who play their best players at every position, the same position, the whole game. And I don't know how much fun it is for the kid who's, batting 10th and playing right center field or right field the entire game. I mean, and my process is like, hey, I'm gonna let the kids play every position, have a little success. They might not have success, but at the same time, the other day I battled one of the kids who typically doesn't hit very well leadoff. He got a couple of hits. He got on base a couple of times, I guess. Not hits maybe, but again, I'm trying to have the perspective. I look back, it's like, all right, no, like we're not even keeping school. Like, who's gonna care about that? Like, I want the experience to be like, hey, maybe this sparks something in him, and all of a sudden he becomes, yeah, a great ball player or loves the game even more. So it's
And I think I've asked you this, but you just made me want to ask again. Has that changed from when you were younger? Like you coaching your daughters who are in college now, playing in college. Is that perspective always been that way at 7, 8 years old?
it's more as I've gotten
or were you the guy
older.
who's trying to win?
Yeah, as I've gotten older, it's gotten a little more that way for sure. So my wife and I coached our daughters early on, and I think we put the kid. We still rotated, probably not as much, but we kept the kids, kind of in some different positions. But then again, once we played in a couple leagues as well where other people took it way too serious, and then your competitive juices get going, and you see them taking extra bases when they
Don't have
probably
to.
shouldn't be. It's like, come on, like we can all get out here and just run around, and nobody would ever get anybody out. But let's have a gentleman or gentlewoman's agreement. We'll play this like fair because nobody can throw and catch at that age consistently. At least like all 9 of them on the field. So
That's right. You usually have a handful that can, and then
yeah. Hey,
start.
speaking of loving the game,
Okay.
Eugenio Suarez of the Diamondbacks yesterday. He's loving baseball right now. Did you see his stat line, Brian?
No, I should have.
So Diamondbacks playing the Braves. Eugenio Suarez became the 19th player ever to have a 4 home run game.
I saw he was at 3 at one point in time.
He got the 4th. Uh, here's kind of the sad thing though. In a losing effort, they lost 8-7.
Gotta have some help. Was he using the torpedo bat, or do we have any information on his
I
bat?
think it was just standard bat, but Eugenio 4 for 4, 4 home runs, only had 5 RBIs.
Got to have people on base.
I mean, that's part of kind of what we talk about in today's era of baseball. Like it's great to hit home runs, but you need a couple of singles or something in front of there to have some base runners. Uh, so let me throw some names out on this list, Brian. I'm gonna start. There's a couple guys that did it prior to 1900. The first name that we would recognize on that list, 1932, Lou Gehrig did it.
Makes sense.
It's a pretty solid there. Uh, let's see some other names. Rocky Colavito did it for the Indians in 1959. Willie Mays in 1961. Mike Schmidt in 1976. So Suarez became the second third baseman. Schmidt was the first. A guy we've talked about, Bob Horner from the Braves did it. Hard hitting Mark Whitten did it in 1993. Mike Cameron did it in 2002. Cameron's son's actually on the Brewers right now. So that's pretty exciting.
Hey, really good athlete. Our Cameron was. I'm sure his son is too.
Yeah, Sean Green did it in 2002. So Cameron and Green both in 2002. Carlos Delgado did it in 2003. And then Josh Hamilton, 2012. I remember seeing that game with Hamilton. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I think that game he was like 5 for 6. He actually hit a double off the wall as well. He was like 5
really
feet
close to having five
home runs. Scooter Gannett did it in 2017, and JD Martinez as well in 2017.
Scooter, I have no idea. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. The rest of them,
he was on the Reds at the time. So that's one that for all these other names, yeah, kind of power guys, you can kind of see it, but Scooter, that one's a little different. But yeah, man, that's a pretty interesting list, and so congratulations to Eugenio Suarez, and hopefully next time it'll be in a winning. That's one of those things that it's the old. I just hope both teams have fun. They ask you after the game, and as a player, you have to say like, well, I would take back all the home runs if our team had won the game. That's kind of that's the line. You have to say that, but at the same time, I think I take the 4 home run game.
yeah. And when you're playing 162, if it's a playoff game, yeah, I think you probably do. If it's a World Series game, if you're playing a game in May or April, whenever we are, that 4 home run game can really carry you for a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah.
I can remember being in minor league baseball, and again, I didn't play a ton because I was always beat up. But I always remember thinking that if I could hit home runs, I can get my average where I want to get it. I do remember thinking that. Like my first year, I hit like 285, like 5, 6 home runs, nothing great. And then
you're a $1 million guy these days, Brian. With that,
yeah. And then I went down for a little bit, so I didn't play all 72 games or 80 games. I think it was like 72 games in short season.
Yeah, short season.
And then I was in Kinston the next year, the high A team, and scuffing a little bit. That hit a few, like 4 or 5 home runs in the first month or two. And I was like, all right, if I can just get to 20 home runs, I can get my average where I want it to at some point. And I mean, now I was banged up trying to battle some stuff, but I was always in the mindset. The home runs, you have a 4 home run game, that really sets you up to where, hey, now we can because average can do this, right, a little bit. I think but clearly the Padres are showing with their winning that if you can hit for average, you can have different guys and have a lot of success.
Yeah,
I think this is going to come full circle within the next 5 years.
It's such a balanced. It's balanced. It's
I agree.
Not top heavy or one thing. And to your point on 20 home runs in the minor leagues is like 40 in the big leagues.
Yeah.
We've talked about before. The balls are a little different. You're not getting the wood isn't as good. The ballparks are a little different, that sort of thing.
And you know what? I feel like they've done it better now because they've got a lot nicer ballparks. But there were times you would play in places you literally would have a white sign in center field, and you're guessing with balls coming. If the pitcher had the right or the wrong arm slot,
different arm slots, but the travel accommodations aren't as great. Yeah, and I remember you guys. I think the closest I saw a couple of 3 home run games. I remember from teammates of mine. One was a guy, Jeff Deerdorf or JD Deerdorf. He was, I think it's Claremont, Florida, but second or third round pick 97, but he's a, scout with the Yankees now. But it was actually, so we were in high desert. And so this was 2001. And in high desert, they would, when you hit a home run, they would do a thing called pass the hat, which was essentially they would pass this bucket around to the stands. And if anybody had cash on hand, if they liked what you did, they would throw in $1, $5, loose change, whatever they had, right? And so that was for every home run and every time you struck out the side. And so guys typically when they hit a home run would get anywhere from like 50 to $100.
Oh wow.
Extra, right? So in the minor leagues, when you're making $1,000 a month,
Yeah.
that's some, yeah, some, and again, it
10%.
depends. And this is
Yeah.
where I'm going with this. And it depends on, is it a Tuesday night game or is it a Saturday night game or a Friday
Mhm.
firework game, right? So so JD waited till so he was a good hitter. He hit a lot of home runs, but he hit 3 home runs on 4th of July.
How
So
much did he get?
clearly biggest crowd. He cleared like so that night he got like $1,200 for hitting 3 home runs that that night. I'm like, dang, that's pretty good. And then what was kind of fun, it was very minor league. Like you would hit the home run, then yeah, it would take a couple innings to collect the money and count it. So then the team would come down, like somebody from the front office, and then hand you like this bag with like a dollar sign on it, like a Scrooge McDuck bag. And the player would come out and they would like, congratulations to JD Martin or JD Deardorff for, and thanks to the fans for this $120 or whatever it was. And you kind of hold the bag up and wave. And but dude, he made like $1,200 that night. And then so I only struck out the side one time at home. And so it was a good night. It was fan appreciation night. So it was a good, and I got a robust $87. So
Not as impressed. I tell you what, talking about fans, last night, I did not see it. It's on YouTube, I'm sure. Savannah Bananas were at Clemson football stadium.
oh geez, Death Valley?
Yeah, they had converted it and they were showing where they were warming up. I should have turned it on. I was watching some other stuff. I should have turned it on. But it was literally, they're playing it, 81,000. They're playing, they've got it set up. Obviously, down each line is pretty short. It
Yeah.
was sold out, 81,000. Dabo is leading they're running down the hill. They're doing the whole shebang
Oh
like
wow.
the
Yeah.
football team. I mean, it is a production. Somebody made a lot of money. I'm sure the Savannah Bananas did, but
Yeah.
they're bringing on 2 more teams. The I guess that organization is,
Yeah.
and it's crazy the
The
interest. I guess the appetite for
the
it.
appetite for that is wild to me. Like
Yeah, you went to one, right?
no, I didn't. My son went to one. The one that was
Okay.
here in Durham. I like I said, I know the guy who runs PA, like the DJ for it. I thought it would have phased out by now, man. I thought it would have just not. I mean, everybody that I've talked to that has gone and seen it absolutely loves it, says it's a blast. But I don't know. Is that translating to real baseball fans?
I think there's definitely some crossover. I think you get a little bit of people who want to be entertained, and then you get people that are baseball people, and that combination is a pretty large group. When you have because it's almost like going to watch a live theater show
Yeah.
and baseball show, and you get that, and clearly you can sell out Death Valley. And I can't believe Clemson let them play during the spring. I can't believe they let them play baseball on that. Maybe they're probably getting new turf anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's
it's back.
so Clemson athletics and Clemson as a university is doing some kind of different things as well, right? They get a ton of applications down there. Like people want to be in Clemson. They want to be there, and a lot. I mean, as much as you do or don't want to believe, I think it attributes to the football program down there
Oh, for
winning,
sure,
right?
for sure.
Same thing with Alabama. Like people just want to go to school and be a part of that. But even like Clemson baseball, that coach now is like he they brought Jazz Chisholm in for like a just kind of come hang out with us and see what
Yeah.
we're all about. So they are as a university and their social media and their digital media, they do a really good job with everything they do. but they are really embracing seemingly the younger generation and what the younger athletes, younger students like what they're into. And so the Savannah Bananas clearly is something that's a lot of fun. It's I get it, but it's really cool to see, I guess, the university kind of embracing what their student body wants, or what the people around there
And
want.
the greater community, because Clemson, you've been around there. It's not a huge area,
No,
right? It's
that's
still,
the university. That's it. Yeah.
yeah, it's a college town, and Clemson is in Clemson, and so it is a kind of unique situation. I think it's just neat how Clemson seems to do everything, figures out a way with money to be first class. Like
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
women's lacrosse, they spent 40 million, and they're one of the few that's got kind of their own women's setup, their own women's field, and they'll get 1,500 people at their women's lacrosse games, and it's just they've done a really good job, really good
Yeah,
job. I
yeah.
mean, it's to me, though, from a Savannah Bananas, if you were able to, and I guess because that is a larger stadium, but if you were able to do that, what a fundraiser you could do for your athletic department.
Oh
Like you could,
gosh, yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
sure
don't
they
know. There was,
split or however the breakdown is. There's got to be
yeah,
some kind of breakdown to where something works. But now, if they're filling up the problem is now I'm sure they're wanting to break records. So if you only got a 50,000 seat stadium, are they still?
where,
Yeah,
yeah, what's next? Well, they have the baseball game coming up that where are they playing at Talladega? They're playing it like a racetrack.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so that's coming up soon. So that might be the Bananas. I mean, that's those big race venues are hundreds of thousands of people, right? I mean,
That's a great point. That's
you've
a great
got
point.
what Tennessee has Neyland Stadium has 108. Ann Arbor has 100 plus. There's a
Yeah.
handful of football stadiums that do. Uh, I mean, I'm assuming that's probably in the works right now. So that'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
it's just interesting. Interesting that again, like you said, the appetite for it was
Yeah, yeah.
surprising.
I mean, I love it if it's building a fan base for baseball. Then I don't know. Then you do a Bananas game, but then you catch a foul ball and it's an out. Then you go to like an Orioles game and you catch a foul ball. Like what?
Well,
I'm not involved. What?
yeah.
I caught
Yeah,
this. I dove.
the gold batters where they tried to steal the idea from. I kind of like one of the things I think is neat that I don't think it ever catches on because you got to have stats and RBIs and all those things. But like no team can get super far ahead, right? You each inning is its own inning, so each inning is a 1-0 or is winner. So if one team scored
Like
five,
rounds.
yeah, exactly. It's more like rounds than it is like it keeps games close for sure, and there's always a chance for a team that's gotten dominated, maybe not to come back if they lose a bunch of rounds, but it's kind of an interesting thought process.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
There's never going to be blowouts, or there shouldn't be many.
Yeah,
So
but again, I don't think anybody's keeping track of like, oh, the Bananas are 42-7 this year. Yeah, it's
I don't think so. I don't know. I think it feels like a marketing thing that you could get into, right? Because
yeah, it'd be a lot. Just be creative and have fun. Like, hey, have
it's
we ever thought of this? What would happen? Yeah, like that's
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Again, very globetrotter. But so we talked yesterday about rain, or a couple of days about rain delays.
yeah.
Let me give you a little. So yesterday I had busy day in the Stewart household. Both girls had a college softball doubleheader. The boy had a baseball game on Saturday night around 7. So I went and saw my oldest. She was in Greensboro. So for geography, Greensboro is about an hour and a half west of Raleigh. Drove through Randolph County to get there, and they play the first one, and then big storm comes. Second game gets delayed for a couple hours. They end up playing it, but we left after the first game to drive back to Raleigh to get changed, and then the boy had a game in Zebulon. So Zebulon's about 35, 40 minutes east of Raleigh. And so my oldest got caught up in a rain delay in the first one. And then the rain actually got to Zebulon at about 6:30. So that one game
You got to do the same
I got
form twice.
yeah, I got rain delayed twice by the same storm. But here's the thing I wanted to talk about, Brian. So the girls game, uh, there was some lightning and thunder. And the AD was on the field trying. Apparently, the school they played had a couple of injured players, and they were trying to push the game out to Monday. Say,
Oh,
hey, come back Monday, and because the AD kept saying, "Oh, I've got this app that shows there's lightning," right? And I get we're all about player safety and all this, and but it's like, oh, there was a lightning strike 6 point some miles around. So apparently, one of the parents on our team is a firefighter locally to Greensboro. He's like, look, we have the best. He goes, and mine's not showing any lightning for like 40 miles away. There was also two schools, so UNCG and NCA&T, which are also within Greensboro, and Guilford College, maybe two, one of those three, two of them were actually still playing while we were sitting out because the AD was holding up the game.
oh, jeez.
And so
Yeah.
they eventually played. They actually lost 3-2. Our girls lost 3-2 in 8 innings. They played a tough game, played really well, but um, so it was. But lightning is one of those things, like especially those like when you hear thunder pull the kids off the field. I don't like it. It drives
I
me
went back and
crazy.
forth. I went back and forth. I've been very much when I was younger. Hey, let's let it. You know, it's going to be fine. What are your chances of getting struck by lightning? Then as I've gotten older, I'm not necessarily a thunder, but if you see the downward streaks, I'm ready to pull on that. We had a game, a middle school game, where the lightning happened to be in a spot where the umpires weren't seeing it,
Oh, nice.
and I wasn't
I
saying
like that. I'm like,
anything.
yeah, they don't see it. Good.
Yeah, yeah, we were rolling, and it's like you're torn, right? You're like, let's keep it moving. Then we had a parent on our team who got super nervous. The umpires hadn't seen it. She pulled her kid and took her kid and went to the car.
Oh, geez.
A little bit of overreaction, but um, anyway, we soon after they called the game and we restarted the
Yeah.
next day because within time limits they were like, hey, if we wait 30 minutes, we're gonna have 20 minutes, to play because of how they
Time
do
of
time.
all. Yeah.
But yeah, we've experienced our share of rain
Yeah,
delays.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, oh God, it's not even close. You can see it. Like and the technology with weather stuff is so good now. Like you can like pull up on your phone and see what's going on with all the radars and everything.
Hey, one more thing on that. LSU
Yeah.
was playing Tennessee this past weekend and
In
Friday night
baseball, right? Baseball we're
in
talking.
baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It is baseball season, Paulie.
It's fair,
Um,
but there's also other seasons running concurrently. You've
yeah,
got
that's
other
what.
interests. You've got lacrosse. You've got dance. Maybe it was a gymnastics meet. I don't know.
And dance. Hey, LSU's dance team supposedly is really good too. But they're playing each other. 3 hour rain delay.
Ugh.
And they had 13. It was like nearly it was one of their largest crowds, which I thought they'd gotten to higher numbers. Maybe in the new stadium they hadn't. So it's over 12,000 people. They did not start until I think they were after 10 o'clock
Oh,
and didn't finish until after 1 o'clock. And they hit a walk off
oh,
in the bottom of the ninth, ended up winning 6-3 against Tennessee. But it was still a packed crowd at 1 o'clock in the morning.
wow.
That's the difference in LSU and SEC sport.
SEC. Yeah.
Those people don't have anything else to do.
I
They're
love it.
not like I would have banged it. Like, all right, I'll watch it all. I'm going to, I'd have done something else. They have real fans there. The
Yeah.
crowd was still going nuts. They had to throw some people out. I think on Saturday night for LSU fans throwing stuff on the field. Just a different level of passion
Yeah. Yeah.
for
I've
SEC
I've had a
baseball.
couple of those games in the minor leagues when it's rain delay. Mostly it's like double headers because you play 2 sevens.
Yeah,
And like the first one goes a little long, you might have some rain, and then you're starting the second one at like 10:15 at night, and you're like, dude, there's like 12 people here. Like, what are we
yeah.
doing? Like, so yeah, that's crazy. All right, Brett, let's get to the big news of Saturday. Shadeur Sanders finally got taken by the Cleveland Browns in the fifth round. Um, so a crowded quarterback room all of a sudden in Cleveland. And Kevin Stefanski's basically said, "Hey, we've yeah the old adage if you got two quarterbacks, you don't have one, and they've got four quarterbacks. So Somebody's going to have to separate themselves. So you got clearly Sanders. You got Dylan Gabriel, who just got selected, Joe Flacco, and Kenny Pickett. So first, what are your? I mean, I know we've talked about. Everybody's been talking about it. Thoughts on the being taken in the fifth round, or what it looks like moving forward?
Well, I'd say one of the things I'd heard that I think probably had an impact. They didn't. Well, there's several things that had an impact. He may have kind of intentionally kind of sabotaged some of the interviews with teams that he didn't want to go to. I'd heard that, and maybe or maybe not. There was definitely. I don't think he had an agent, and so everybody was kind of working through. So what he's hearing, and I'm sure the thought process was, "Hey, I'm gonna be a first round pick. I'm gonna get this $50 million. I'm not going to give 3% to my agent. I'm the one who's done this."
Yeah.
After Friday night, or maybe I think it was after Friday night, him and his brother both hired an agent. And I would imagine you were probably able to get some more honest information, because I feel like some of these GMs either respect or fear or don't want to have the conversation like Dion. I'm sure the honesty wasn't the same that is it needed to be with an agent, or as it would have been. So I think that was an impact. His brother signed a free agent contract with the Bucks. As a father, I can look at this two different ways. As a father, man, it's got to be a proud moment, right? You have coached your sons through middle school, through high school, through college, a different college, and now your kids are, going to the NFL. I'm sure there's got to be a thought in his mind somewhere as well. Like, how did none of my kids? He's got 4. How did none of my kids get my speed?
Well, Shadeur's not slow, but not.
He is slow. He's a 4.6 maybe.
Yeah, 4.6 to regular people is.
Yeah, but not to Dion. How did nobody has?
Well, because he was like a legitimate like all-time great world class. I mean, nobody's gonna run. He went with like a 4.2. Like, there's like 10 people in the world that do that.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that you would have like 1 out of 4? Wouldn't you think you'd have a 1 out of 4 chance of having like a 4.4 kid?
I mean, I guess in theory, but that's.
And so I'm sure that thought had to cross his mind. Maybe not now, but I'm sure early on he's like, one of these kids, especially one of the boys is like 5'2" and looks like, he's the one who does all the videographer stuff. And kind of comes across as arrogant in times, but is doing his thing. I think that's the thing that probably hurt. I think if you're a plus athlete, our corner especially, you can kind of have this brazen, I'm better than you attitude. I don't think that has ever worked at quarterback. Cam Newton had a version of that.
Yeah. I think Cam had kind of split personalities. I think he had. Because I've heard, I don't, you and I don't know Cam at all, but I've heard some other things about Cam, like in the facility, like, oh, he did work hard.
Oh, yeah.
And then he had his Superman, his outfits, all that kind of stuff. And I think eventually some of that overtook.
I agree.
He got too concerned with that, and it wasn't the football as much. But I've heard a lot of reports from Panthers that he's putting the time in. He's working hard.
I agree with that. I would say, though, once his ability started to
faded quick, yeah.
Then the personality and everything else was too much. Like, if he would have been a normal guy, he could have been a backup and made money for a lot longer and maybe got another shot if he'd had a different kind of personality on the outside, which isn't so arrogant. It's more of a worker, humble, and I'm sure those guys are workers, but it'd be interesting to see. Yeah. The room itself, I mean, doesn't Cleveland still have Watson too?
Well, technically, yes, but now it's trying to figure out how they can offload him to somebody. Yeah, he's going to be a big. I mean, the whole salary cap, and I understand it, but don't know the details of it. But he's going to be a big hit on the salary cap, and so they're
going to cut him.
That's kind of what everybody's saying. That's all the rumor. Yeah, but I did see. It's interesting you were talking about like Cam Newton. I saw a video, and I don't know if this was a real or AI generated, but it was Shadeur and Cam Ward at some sort of function, like camp or something together. They were both wearing, the quarterback sleeveless like shirts and that had just a number on the front. And Shadeur was, hey, let's do this dance. And Cam was like, I don't dance.
Oh yeah.
And Shadeur's like, well, come on, man. He's like, no, I want people to know Cam Ward's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Cam Ward's a quarterback, not a football player, an American football player. And Shadeur just kind of laughed and kind of joked it off. But Cam was like, I am not messing around. Like I'm here to get business and work done. And Shadeur is a lot more playful. It's kind of like remember the old cartoons with like the old kind of grumpy dog and who's just there grinding out. And then you got the little pup who's just around like, hey, let's do this. Let's have fun. And the big dog's like, no, we're here to do this. That's what it felt like almost.
There was a lot of video that came out recently that really showed Cam Ward, and I don't know who's doing this, or I don't even know who's videoing this stuff. But he was always saying the right things. Now, he may be chirping, he may be talking a little trash, but he was always saying the right thing. I remember one, they were in high school. They're like, hey, he's like, hey, Shadeur, you didn't get better today. I got better today. I got better today. You didn't get better today. I saw you out there going at like 80% or 70%, not full speed. I got better today. You didn't. And it's like, it takes a mature personality to recognize it, but it also takes you wonder how you got to this point.
That's a bold personality too. That's a mature process. Were there any other draft picks that you saw, Brian, throughout the rest of the 7 rounds that interested you or that you were kind of excited about? I mean,
as a Panthers fan, Jimmy Horn Jr., another Colorado kid. I really liked him, dude. He doesn't I don't know why a lot of these Colorado kids. I don't even know what Travis Hunter's 40 was or if he ran it or didn't run it. But Jimmy Horn's 40 was not impressive. I think it was 4.5, maybe 4.6.
I think I read 4.6.
His body moves a lot faster than that. There's guys who keep that speed when they put on pads. I think that's probably, and again, it just shows kind of the hype around the Colorado program. I recognize him more as a 6th-round pick than I did our 1st-round pick, which were both receivers.
Yeah. And they, the Panthers kind of split. They grabbed a tight end as well and a Trevor Etienne. So hopefully that can be, kind of hopefully stabilize the offense a little bit and add some weapons. A couple I saw, again, being a big Clemson, Phil Maffa, the running back, got taken by the Cowboys in the 7th round. So really excited for Phil. One of the had a chance to interact with him, quite a bit, and just. Man, you want to talk about high quality, high character young man? Like Phil Maffa epitomizes that. He is the guy you want in that locker room. So Cowboys got a good one there from all and a great running back. So excited about that. And then Quinn Ewers went to the Dolphins. So
he signed as a free agent. I didn't see him.
He got drafted by the Dolphins. He got drafted.
Okay.
So for the Texas quarterback and. Again, I don't think the Dolphins have a real stable situation down there. So, Tua's no matter where Tua goes, they're talking about him not being there anymore.
Signing an extension. That's interesting. Quinn's one of those guys when at one time, after his freshman year, they're like, oh, first-round pick.
Yeah.
And he's gradually, as he's played more, it's gotten worse. I remember seeing him last year in some of the big games. I can't remember the team. It was obviously another SEC team, and there were definitely saw flaws in his game. But it'd be interesting to see once you get with a program like what the Dolphins are doing and what they can do with Tua. Tua, for whatever reason, as much as he gets poo-pooed on, it's not like you can put in anybody because he's been hurt and they've tried to put in other guys, and they can't do what Tua does.
He's done well, yeah.
What Tua does.
I don't know what it is, but he does it, man. He's just kind of a winner. He just kind of plays hard. So, well, that's all we got plenty more for you today, but we know you guys don't have a couple more hours to listen to us talk. So we appreciate you listening today. Hey, make sure you go out, subscribe, follow, and share this with others. We appreciate that. And go out there and make it a great Sunday.
Out, go Pack and Tigers. Pack with a sweep over Clemson.